Well, how you doing, everyone? And welcome to this edition of the Isaac Hayes Show, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, and we talk about the pursuit of happiness. And this is the show where truth will be told and lies will be exposed. So happy that you get to join me here today. If you can, please like the show, subscribe to the show. We are live on Rumble and on TikTok, and we are also recording the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So you'll be able to hear this after all said and done on TikTok and on Rumble. You can go ahead and listen to it on Apple Podcasts. You can go listen to it on iHeartRadio. You can listen to it on Amazon, Spotify, all them good places. You'll be able to watch the video as well on Spotify. So hope everyone is well. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into politics and anything else, it is the first day of college football. If you're watching live right now, you notice I am wearing a Louisiana jersey. This is the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. They play Gremlin tonight, and then LSU plays the Trojans, the USC Trojans, and they are in is it Cal? No, they Las Vegas. They in the new stadium, Legion Stadium for the Raiders. I cannot wait to watch that tomorrow night. We have a lot going on here at the studio. I already see we have some people on TikTok. We got Mr. Ben. Ben is a good friend of mine. Became a good friend of mine because of the Chunky Cajun on the live stream. So welcome and thank you for the likes, my friend. Please keep hitting that like button if you're on TikTok. I did not share the StreamYard key today. If you have a comment, please put it in the section. Put it in the comment section. I will try to read it. And I will try to get to the comments as much as possible after I give my opening point. And let me know who you're going for today on college football. Let's start with some unity here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with some unity because college football opening day, kickoff starts, I think, at 11 college game day. I got some work to do with my good friend Jordan Taylor from Under the Lights. He's going to be coming out the wall, and we're working on some stuff for his show. So I'm excited. We got a lot going on. What team you going for, TikTok? What team you going for, Rumble? I'm representing today. I'm representing my Cajuns. And I hope they pick up a win. If I had an LSU jersey, I would probably wear it tomorrow. I'm starting to look like Trump right there. I wish I could make a half jersey, half LSU, half Cajun. So we got somebody from Tennessee already. We got Ben that says, need that Notre Dame and UC Bobcat win. Yes, Louisville. Somebody said Louisville is trash. Hey, I love on Louisville, man. Love on Louisville. But I get what you're saying, okay? Tennessee Bio. I understand because, okay, I'm going to make some people mad, especially people I know, because I feel the same way about Trojans up in Alabama and LSU with Alabama Crimson Tide. I understand where you're coming from. A big rivalry like that. I don't know what it is with my home teams. We just don't like teams from Alabama for some reason. I don't know. All right, so that out the way. Keep replying if you want to go ahead and talk about your teams. We already got 3 people in the Rumble chat. 4 people in the Rumble chat. Please, if you're in the Rumble chat, go ahead and send me a message. I love hearing from you guys, especially if it's Mike Calderese or Dr. Michael Swartz. Because I'm always in their chats. They need to repay me and come in my chats. Even Jeff Hayhart. I've been listening to Jeff Hayhart for a while. I hope I said his name right. He probably, if not, he's going to go ahead and crucify me on Monday for saying that. I can't believe that Cajun messed up my name. Let's see. Tennessee doesn't like them. Teams from Kentucky, Alabama, or Florida. Tennessee Bio, thank you for being in the chat, my friend. We have 153 likes so far, 63 listening. Go ahead and smash the like button. Us Cajuns. Tennessee Bayou, do you like LSU? Probably not either, huh? I'm just saying. All right, so let's start with the big news of the day. And the news that's been carrying around right now is that Kamala Harris had her first interview. Now, I got to go back and give you some content of what is going on. Today is 41 days that she has not had a formal press conference. Fox News and other conservative websites have been hammering this point. She was nominated as the party's nominee without a single delegate, without anyone voting for her. None whatsoever. And it bothers me that, I hear Democrats, and I've asked Democrats this question: how could you go ahead and endorse a candidate that did not get one single delegate? And look, okay, I understand the primary system. I understand the DNC and all this stuff. Normally, if you didn't have a clear candidate, you would go ahead and you select certain candidates, and they would go ahead and go on the stage and talk about themselves and why they feel they should be president of the United States. That didn't even happen either. When Kamala Harris became the nominee, they were like, hey, it's Kamala, and everybody else step aside. And I remember, I said this when Barack Obama refused to endorse her at first. I said, I think Obama's going to put up a candidate, and they're going to have to go ahead and do an old-fashioned convention. Because if you know, back in the day, the whole conventions, and Republican and Democrats, they would go to these conventions. They would ask the people, hey, who you think we should vote for? They go to these conventions, and the party would be like, they want more primary votes, this one, that. They would go ahead and make these assumptions of what they needed, who would best fit the country. They didn't even do that with Kamala Harris. They just said, hey, she's the party's nominee. Let's run with it. That's all they did. They didn't go ahead and really vote her in. The delegates had no other choice but to vote for her. And there was even some delegates that said, hey, we're not doing it. But she was just said, hey, you're running. And that was it. And look, she has been quiet for the most part. I understand some people would say, one second, I gotta go ahead and do some stuff right here. All right, but so a lot of people would say, well, she didn't go ahead and she's telling her policy. She's going ahead and she's making her case known, but not really. Even at the DNC, think about this. Even at the DNC, she went ahead and spoke only for a few minutes. I think 37 minutes was her speech at the DNC, and that's really, really short. That is really, really short compared to other speeches. Look, Donald Trump, I don't know the time frame. I'm not going to even try to guess it, but it was longer than Kamala Harris's. I will tell you this. It was longer. But she has been silent. She has not been out there promoting her agenda. And to be honest with you, I feel that's because she's running, she's hoping that ignorance gets her into the White House. Why do I say that? Well, because if you notice, they're not pushing, they pushed her economical plan, and it got, torn up to shreds. It was the things that she was pushing is clear communistic mindsets. And I'm just, she's not pushing her policies, because if she pushes her policies, she's going to lose in November. It's going to hurt her more than help her. I'm just being honest. And look, this is 2020 2.0 on the Democrat side, in my opinion. She's hiding in the closet. She does not want to come out. She don't want to push her agenda. She wants to go on stage and say, we fight, we win. And then everybody cheers and she runs off, and she's hoping people don't go ahead and follow her agenda. She's hoping that people will not look into her. And the only reason she did this interview, was to quiet the critics a little bit. But it did not quiet the critics. It really amped up our criticism of her, because this interview was not her best performance. It wasn't. It was, okay, first off, it was pre-taped. It was not live. And look, there's some people harping on this, but I'm not going to harp on it. The reason I say that is because I do interviews here. I do interviews, and I normally pre-tape all my interviews. I'm doing an interview with a good friend of mine and TikTok influencer, Eli Yoder. Me and Eli, we met through Brothers Just Searching. We interviewed him he wrote a new book. That interview is not going to be taped live. Now, there's a difference between CNN and myself. I don't normally edit the interviews unless the person I'm doing the interview with says something that's really out there, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to push that narrative, or that's not true, or something of that nature. But most of my interviews are not unedited. They go straight through. And, somebody said Eli Yoder sounds like a Amish guy. He is an Amish guy. Go check him out. Eli Yoder. Yoda Total 40, I think his channel is. But I don't go ahead and try to edit my videos or my interviews. But CNN, like I said, we don't know the whole story around this interview. Did they cut things out that she messed up on? And look, if this was the best she had, that poor editor. That's all I'm going to say. That poor editor. He must have been pulling out his hair. I don't know. It just, because if that was the best she gave, it wasn't the best. Now, let's talk about the interview a little bit, because, again, she's not out there long. Again, like her DNC speech, it's only about 37 minutes. If you broke it down, I'm getting this from the Daily Wire, she spoke about 15 minutes. Dana Bash and Tim Walz spoke for the rest of the time. 16 minutes. Okay, look, we are at this point under 70 days away from an election. And does she honestly think that 16 minutes is going to ensure voters? Look, I'm not talking about the hard right or the hard left. I'm not talking about that. So if you're listening on TikTok and on Rumble, I'm not talking about the hardcore left and right. I'm talking about those people in the middle that are scratching their head and they have a question about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Because look, there is some people out there. I heard an individual last night that's a libertarian that cannot stand Donald Trump, but he can't stand Kamala Harris either. So that is a on the fence voter. Does she honestly think that 16 minutes is going to convince voters? Because look, I'm going to admit, I'm a conservative. I don't think this was her best interview. Okay? But I heard someone last night that was on the Chunky Cajuns live stream. Hardcore Democrat. And thought the interview was the greatest of all time. He was like, oh man, this was the greatest interview of all time. And I'm sitting there listening. And I'm like, the greatest interview of all time. They said that was the greatest DNC of all time. So people that are hardcore left and hardcore right, they already made their decision. They've already made the decision. They already know that who they're voting. Like me, look, you can try and I will listen to you. But 9 out of 10, I'm going to still vote for Donald Trump in November. And the same thing with somebody that's hardcore left. They're watching this. And, I can't believe that man from Louisiana is talking about Kamala Harris like that. You're going to vote for Kamala Harris no matter what I say. So swipe up or go to the next channel. And look, I like people watching. Look, I love seeing all these people that interact with me and give me their opinion. I'm not against that. But those people already made up their mind. I'm talking about the middle ground vote. And look, Mike Calderese and Dr. Michael Soros from Two Mike Lies, they've addressed this a lot lately too. Those middle of the ground voters, them people that know we have a presidential election, but they're not going to go ahead and vote on principle. They're going to vote on a D or an R behind the name of a person. And then there might be people that are really, I don't know who to vote for, and they're listening to Kamala Harris. They're hoping this interview would have gave them something, and they're like, huh? But again, I feel this. I feel this while researching for this interview. Kamala Harris is running on the ignorance of the people of America. Because look, I've seen some people in the chat. Most of these people follow politics. They go ahead and they're diving into the, and look, there's a reason why you're listening to this, because you're interested in my viewpoint. But most people, most average day workers go home and they don't watch the news, or if they put on CBS to see the news, or NBC or someone like that, a local affiliate, they this Donald Trump did this and Kamala Harris did that. At the end of the day, they're not paying attention to this. And again, they're going to vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump because of the R or the D behind their name. And Kamala Harris is hoping that people won't look into her because, again, she has been president. She's been vice president for the last 4 years. And look, that even leads me to her first question that was asked by Dana Bash, and it was a simple question. Hey, what are you going to do on day one? And she was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and help the middle class. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and, help the middle person. I'm going to, Donald Trump. And she didn't say Donald Trump's name, but she's like, the former president made an atmosphere, and I'm abbreviating, I'm not quoting, that the middle, that it was a bad atmosphere he's creating. And I'm sitting there and listening to this. And again, this is not quoted. I'm trying to remember off the cuff. I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. You're blaming Donald Trump for something you did. That's how. Well, we were in the middle of a recovery. When asked about the economy, she said the Biden economics was successful, and the reason that inflation went so high was because we just came out of a pandemic. And during the pandemic, Donald Trump had inflation under 2%, and prices for fuel and prices for food and all the everyday goods were. They were good. We could afford to live even in a pandemic. I'm going to quote what she said about Donald Trump for the last decade. I think sadly in the last decade we've had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation. I think people are ready to turn the page on that, Harris added. That was the question that Dana Bash asked her, hey, what you going to do on day one? And she added that on the tail end. But look, okay, think about this, all right? She said that he's pushing an agenda in an environment that is diminishing the character, the strength of who we are as America, really dividing our nation. The Democrats have a part in that too. And again, she has been the vice president, for 4 years. 4 years. Isn't there a way they could have went ahead and done something? Same thing with the economy. Now it's good. It's good because it's getting close to election year. You never notice that when Democrats are in power, and Republicans too. I can't hold that back. But you notice when an election comes close, gas prices go down, inflation goes down, all this stuff goes down. They want your vote. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. And look, I think anybody that follows me on TikTok and Rumble and all this, they know how I stand on that. I'm not just going to go ahead and, Republicans good, Democrats bad. I'm going to call out on both sides. They asked her about fracking. Now, if you remember 2019, 2020, when she ran against Joe Biden, she said she would ban fracking. There was a speech in 2019, can't remember where it was at, but she was like, if they don't obey us, we're going to take their patterns away. And somebody's like, you can do it. Yeah, we can do it. I can stand to do that. I believe that was concerning oil. I could be wrong. If somebody in the chat, please let me know. But she was all for banning fracking. Now, all of a sudden, I changed my mind on that. It's funny how a lot of policies she pushed, running for VP, running for president back in 2019, it's all out the window. The reason being is if she tries to run a campaign on the principles she ran on 2019, she wouldn't get a vote, especially in Pennsylvania. That's just why she's like, and look, I like how she lies and didn't even notice she lied. She made the comment, I made my position known in 2020, how I stood on fracking. I'm not for banning fracking. All of a sudden now she don't want to ban fracking. Why? Well, because if she says, hey, I think we should get rid of fracking and big oil, she would not win the state of Pennsylvania. Look, and all my analysis and all my me looking at the states and the polls and everything, she needs to win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Also with other states, everything got to play out. But it'd be a very difficult comeback for Trump if she wins those three states. They call that the blue wall for a reason. If she loses Pennsylvania, I don't see a path for her for the win. If she loses Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, it's done. That's my assessment of it. People can go ahead and say, Isaac, you're not right on that. Look, I don't know. I'm just saying. 895 likes. Let's get that up to 1,000, please. It'll TikTok. Let's do it. So she made the comment about fracking. All her positions are changed, and we've seen this in the past. Walz was asked about his gun legislation, and he talked about, hey, I'm going with weapons of war. I fought with weapons of war. And this is something that he's been criticized for. He hasn't went to war. When he was going to be deployed, he retired. Now, you can go ahead and question his motives for that. But a lot of people believe that he did it because he didn't want to go to war. Now, you have some, he didn't know he was getting deployed. Well, he was the master sergeant or whatever they gave them, hey, we're about to deploy some people. I don't know if he knew the date, but he knew that he was about to get deployed. And it was asked about his claim on carrying gun wars. Governor Walz attempted to blame his grandma when asked about his poor comment that he wants to ban guns like the ones he carried in war, even though he never saw combat during his time in the Army National Guard. There was a lot. There was a lot in this interview, ladies and gentlemen. On the tail end of it, did this help Kamala Harris? No. And I'm going to quote Dan Bongino, and he's right on that. And he's right on this example. A campaign is not about policies, unfortunately. See, again, because I see Ben is in the chat, and he's having a conversation with a few people. We follow policy, okay? Me and Ben and Chunky Cajun, I'm trying to think of the two Mikes Live. I couldn't remember them. Dr. Mike's going to get on me Monday. We look at policy. We talk about policy. We talk about things we agree with, we disagree with. But a campaign is really looking for that soundbite or that moment that will get the attention of the people. And I'm going to use, for example, remember in the debate with Donald Trump and Joe Biden? Donald Trump was listening to Joe Biden, and he was trying to answer a question, and Donald Trump made the statement, I didn't understand what he said. I don't even think he understood what he said. That went viral. It did not help Joe Biden. If you remember that whole speech, that soundbite is going to live forever. It's the same with when I forgot who he was debating, but remember Ronald Reagan saying, "Hey, he was trying to explain something, and the guy was in there. He said, "I paid for this mic, sir." That's gonna live forever. That's debate history right there. And that's what it's about. It's about sound bites, and it's about clips. It's about that viral moment in a society we live right now in social media. I don't see any viral moment in this 16-minute interview she had. There was nothing that stuck out and it was like, ooh, boy, she got that. Dana Bash didn't really do her job. She did follow up on a few questions, and it was like, man, she has the opportunity to really do her job and to really expand on that question, and Dana Bash didn't do it. She did. We got to 1,000 likes. Thank you, my friends on TikTok. Please continue. Please share. Please tell people about the show. It just, there was no, hey, I got you moments here. There was nothing. And look, I haven't been looking at the chat, on TikTok. I'm going to have to start looking at it in a little bit. But I just, again, I didn't see no I got you moments here. No I got you moments. No, I just, now, does this quiet the critics? No, because it's now, and this is the thing about critics. They're never satisfied. And look, I might be calling the pot the Kindle Black because I criticize and I give you my opinion. But everybody's saying she needed to do an interview. She did an interview. Now it's like, hey, she hadn't done a press conference. Again, these are people that are the people that are asking for the press conference and these interviews. They really want to know what Kamala Harris has done. Plain and simple. Somebody that's really, but there's certain people that are saying, hey, she's afraid of the media. Hey, she's now that, and look, it's been 41 days according to Fox News that she has not done a pharma interview. And I just, you're always going to have critics on that. You're going to always have critics. We don't have a lot of people watching live right now, but if you are on the podcast side and you want to give us a comment, please go ahead and comment on the podcast, and I will get all them comments and I can review them and read them and respond back to you. So if you're listening, you can go ahead and make your voice heard here on the Isaac Hayes Show. Again, we're trying to get it to where, people can go ahead and come onto the show and you can hear. Now, with that being said, man, I don't know if it's going to let me do that. I was going to go ahead and share the StreamYard link. I wasn't going to do that until probably later in the show. But let's see. Okay, we have Judge Elliott. Elliott, did I say that right? Hope I said that right. Judge. Judge said the people actually voting for her don't care about interviews. That's the thing. Well, so I made that point earlier too. People that are watching this interview, especially the people that said, hey, she did a great job, Judge, they honestly think she did a good job, and they're not going to be swayed. They're not going to hear the lies that she went ahead and promoted, like changing all her views. No, they're not going to challenge that. They're not going to challenge that whatsoever because they're already going to vote for her. The lines are drawn. Yes, Judge, I absolutely agree with you on that. I agree with you on it. And we're going to be talking about, I got it in my notes, because earlier this week, and that's all out the window since this interview has come out, is John F. K., oh, he's dead. RFK went ahead and voted for, endorse Donald Trump. Somebody said, Red Planet 08 said, oh, shut up, the man served 24 years. He did. And look, I'm not questioning his 24 years of service. Okay, look, if Tim Walz was sitting right in front of me right here, I would say, thank you, sir, for your service. I do that to every veteran I see and every cop I see. I tried to, at least. So, somebody said something about, I think it said Rumble. Host likes to ramble. Well, no, I just go ahead and I just speak my mind. And this is what a live show is. I'm just speaking my mind. All right? No one wants to hear the other side. Judge said it doesn't matter. Look, and this is the thing too, okay? This is why there's shows like this. If I had the opportunity to bring, and we're working on it, okay? Me and producer LB from Brothers Just Searching, we're working on something to where if y'all join this live stream on TikTok, our friends on Rumble could hear you and our friends on the podcast side could hear you. But right now, unfortunately, we don't have that capability. We're working on it. We're doing a lot of stuff. It takes a lot to run a live show on a budget. On a budget, really. So, okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the news earlier in the week. RFK Jr., and this is a funny situation how they're doing this. RFK Jr. went ahead and endorsed Donald Trump. And he's not suspending his campaign. Let's get this out of the way, because some people saying, well, he's suspending his campaign, he's ending his campaign. He suspended his campaign, but he's keeping his name on non-battleground states. Battleground states, however, and I'm going to talk about Michigan a little bit because Michigan is interesting on that. He's pulling his name from battleground states that could help Donald Trump. I was always under the impression And Ben's made a good point. RFK could technically win. Yes, he can. See, that's what a lot of people don't. He's protecting himself. He does get a cabinet position, or he already got on the transition team for Donald Trump. But he's playing both ends on the fence. Ben, if you agreed, let's Judge said the same thing I just said. He is suspending his campaign in certain states. Yes, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Florida. He's in battleground states. He is suspending his campaign to help Donald Trump. But again, Ben said it. Ben said it, and Ben, great point. He has definitely played his cards well. He did. He's still on there. But so what he's doing is he's helping Trump, but at the same time still have a shot. And this is his excuse, I guess you could say, for this. He's saying, well, if somebody don't like Donald Trump or Harris, they have an option to vote. Now, this is the problem with this. Not in the swing states. Now, again, going back to my point earlier, I honestly think that he was looking for positions or whatever, but just had a brain fart, excuse me. I'm trying to clear my thoughts. Going back to RFK, it just he's not suspended, he's doing this, and excuse me, I'm sorry. I usually don't do this. I have all this stuff mental. I'm trying to remember my thought. Anyway, but he endorsed Donald Trump, and this was the big news. That's what I was talking about. Thank you, Lord, for helping me. I always thought when I heard RFK was running that he would help Donald Trump more than not help Donald Trump. Now, according to polling, I don't agree with polls. Ben knows what I'm going to talk about when I'm going to say this. I had a live stream last night, and they were talking about polls, and a lot of people, especially the Harris people, are holding on to these polls that she's winning by 1 point. That's in a margin of error, meaning there's no clear leader. This election is at a dead heat right now, especially with RFK dropping out. That benefited Donald Trump, because Donald Trump was losing until RFK said, hey, I'm endorsing him, and bam, it went ahead, and someone said 7 points this morning. Is that towards Harris or Trump? And depending on the poll that you're listening, because there is some polls out there that are inflating the numbers. He said Trump has lost, and I haven't seen no polls this morning. But I always thought that RFK would help Donald Trump more than hurt Donald Trump by staying on the ballot, because Democrats couldn't stand Joe Biden. Now Kamala Harris is in there. She has gotten some of the heat. She has gotten some of the stuff. So, we would have to see what goes on. But I always thought RFK would help Trump by that. But according to internal polls that they have, if RFK wouldn't have dropped out, Donald Trump was for sure lost. That's what we're hearing. Does his endorsement help? Yes, because a lot of people that were on the fence that did not like Donald Trump or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, they would go ahead and vote for RFK. And RFK, I thought he had a good shot. Before Biden stepped out of office, he definitely did have a shot. Now that Kamala Harris and Trump's in there, we'll see. Now, and also, let's go back to Michigan. I was talking about Michigan earlier. Michigan's Secretary of State don't want to take RFK off the ballot. There is another candidate, and I can't think of his name. He's a left-leaning individual that's running, and you have these third-party candidates all across the board. You're going to have several names on that ballot. Just not going to be Donald Trump and Joe Biden. There's going to be several names on there, and there's a candidate that it's a good shot. He's going to take away votes from Kamala Harris. Michigan is trying to take him off the ballot, but they're trying to leave RFK on there. Why? Well, because RFK, theoretically, would help Kamala Harris win, because it would take votes away from Trump. And see how the left's doing it. Left wants democracy, but they're trying to get people, and this was reported on Dan Bongino, how they offered that candidate some money, some compensation to get off the ballot. That's scary. The Democrat Party's trying to buy people off to get off. Now, don't get me wrong. Look, and before you blow up the chat, Donald Trump did offer RFK some money, not money, because the left's gonna go crazy if they hear that. He offered him like a cabinet position, and it's politics, man. It's politics. So, okay, we got Mr. Judge. Judge said polls are useless. Trump has never won a popular vote, but was still president. With that, Judge, if you understand the Electoral College, that's why. The Electoral College, it helped Donald Trump. It's not. And look, I have to explain this every so often. The Electoral College map is what determined our elections, not the popular vote. And the Founding Fathers did that on purpose. Because just think about it. If we had a popular vote, we'd be like France right now. And I don't want to think about that. How do you know he was losing before RFK dropped out? Polling came out and said that. So that's what I'm. Look, and I don't follow polls. I don't trust polls. I trust God, and we'll see what happens at the end of the day. Let's see. 538 shows. Okay, I just sent somebody a invitation. Please don't accept it because I can't accept guests on TikTok right now. So if I could, I would. I would have y'all on, guys. I love talking to y'all. That's a hypocritical. That's a hypocritical. I bet a lot of people were turned off by him endorsing Trump. Possible. Okay. And see, that's the thing too, because remember, RFK was like, "Hey, I don't like Joe Biden and I don't like Donald Trump." Now, to RFK's credit, he said, I weighed out both options and I can't support Kamala Harris. Now, I reported on here and people, and look, I made a video that said, look, he said he didn't do it. There was reports that he reached out to the Harris campaign. So was he just looking for power? See, that's another thing too we have to look at. Is RFK just looking for a position or is he really concerned about the nation? I honestly think he's concerned about the nation, but at the same time, there is that other factor in there. Okay. Someone said, come on, blue. Hey, if you want to vote blue, go vote blue. Okay, get it right. Talking out of both sides of your mouth, the Electoral College is deal for Republicans. No, it was a founding it was in the Constitution. And you got to realize, too, there was no such thing as Democrat and Republicans when this country started. Go look up. There was the Wing Party and several other parties. They would act like Democrats and Republicans. Don't get me wrong, but there was no Democrat and Republican back in the day. So to say that the Electoral College was benefiting Republicans, no, there was no Electoral College vote but there was an Electoral College vote, but there was no Democrat and Republican at the beginning of our nation. You can go listen to. Get his name right. David Burden. David Burden will go ahead and explain a lot of that. So look, good luck with my last name. Hey, good TikTok handle. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good TikTok handle. Washington didn't think political parties should ever be. Well, they were trying to be united. What are you talking about? I'm talking about now. Oh, you're talking about okay, if the Electoral College works for Republicans, why haven't a Republican won every election since Reagan? And look, to prove the point, this is why the Founding Fathers have the Electoral College in there. Just think about it. The Republican, Florida and Ohio was the state to win in 2016. If you won Ohio and Florida, you were the president of the United States. That has changed. Donald Trump won both of them in 2020, lost Nevada and Arizona, and that was the deciding factor. The deciding factor was Arizona. So those states change, and that's the beauty of the Electoral College. It never stays. Look, California was red in the time of Reagan. Now it's pure blue. Same thing with Texas. Texas was a blue state. Now it's pure red. So things change in states, and the Electoral College benefits both people. Now you making a point about the popular vote. Again, the Founding Fathers did not want the popular vote to determine. And think about it, okay? If the popular vote was the vote to go ahead and pick our elections, you would never see Donald Trump in rural areas. You would never see Donald Trump in areas, or even Kamala Harris in areas where they'll just go to the big cities. Big cities win elections in popular votes. This is how Paris and France is run, and you see what a mess it is. And even that, look, In England right now, according to Glenn Beck, there's a lot of turmoil going on over there. Their parliamentary system. I hope I said that right. And same thing in Canada. And look at the mess they got. So at the end of the day, the Electoral College is our friend, and it was good for us. And look, you got to realize too, our elections is not one big election. It's small elections in states, and they come together at the first week of January. I think it's January 5th this year, where the Electoral College says, hey, our state wants Donald Trump, or our state wants Kamala Harris. So let's see. Hidden buttons I should not be hidden. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Just saw the movie Reagan, Miles Scott. Hey, how was it? I want to go see it. 1.1 thousand likes in the TikTok world. It was good. Ben asked the same question. Land doesn't vote. That's the EC is the land voting because our past. No, the Electoral College. Look, Electoral College. Thank God for the Electoral College. I'm trying to drink my coffee here. Can you just try to say it right? Kamala. Okay, now, Kayla, I got a question to ask you on that. Why is it before she was made the nominee, it was Kamala, which is Kamala? You can say it that way. All of a sudden now we had to make her name. Oh, it's Kamala. I'm just asking the question. It's funny how that worked, okay? Because it was Kamala. 4 years she was running when she was in California. Now that she's running, oh my goodness, you gotta say it right, Kamala. It's funny how it's trying to make it sound better. That's what it is. It's coming up with an issue. People don't vote because of the Electoral College. Get rid of it. No. Okay. Good luck with my name. I would love to debate you or talk to you, have a conversation with you on that. People do vote. Each state votes, and the popular vote of each state determines who gets the Electoral College votes. Then those representatives, here in Louisiana, we have 8 representatives. We have 6 congressmen, and we have 2 senators. Go to Washington at the beginning of the year and say, hey, our votes are for Trump, or our votes are for Kamala. That's how the popular vote works. That is the popular vote of each state that represents the Electoral College. So this whole notion, we should have the most popular. No, and on that point too, you're thinking as of this country as a democracy. See, that's how true democracy works. We're not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Big difference. Big difference. When Kamala Harris and all these people say we got to save our democracy, we are not a democracy. We are a constitution republic. Please continue to hit the like buttons. I appreciate it. It has always been pronounced. I'm trying to get the comment back. It has always been pronounced Kamala. People constantly saying it wrong doesn't make it right. No, but the thing of it is, okay, if it was wrong, why didn't they address it early in the campaign? I'm just saying. Good luck with my name. Look, hey, let's go. Hey, we can schedule. We can't do it today because nobody can hear. We'll set this up. I'm extremely busy, but we'll set it up sometime, and we'll do it. All right. And that's how Trump lost. Zachary, what you talking about? I'm not remember what you said. I don't know what you're talking about. Give me some content. You should host an election night. Well, okay, Jeff, you will have an election night. Me and my good friend Kelby Dago from Kelby and Juan show, they're releasing next week. I think 5 days. Their new show is going to be coming out, and we're going to go ahead and do an election show. I got to get with him and discuss it. We're probably going to go on till about 10 Central Standard Time because we all have to work the next day. Unfortunately, I don't get paid for this. That's why I ask for hearts and I ask for gifts and all that good stuff. So, Q said the Electoral College was a flawed system. The founders threw together because they couldn't agree. Okay, I'll have to go look up that to confirm or deny. So, let's see. We got a lot of people in the chat talking about this. Somebody said clueless Trump snowflake host. I always thought the snowflake term was for liberals. Just saying. We are a representative democracy. No, we're not. We are a constitutional republic. Our founding fathers, listen to the Pledge of Allegiance. On the republic of which it stands. The republic. We are a republic. The founding fathers never wanted a true democracy because of the mess we have right now. And look, I'm going to say this about our founding fathers. These were some of the smartest men and the most genius men out there. For them to set up a government. Look, was it perfect? No, it was not perfect. They were not perfect men. We live in an imperfect world. But they did a great job. I know our history. Well, look, good luck with my last name. Hey, I study history too. And we could have disagreements on history. And again, if we debate or we talk or we have a conversation, I like calling them conversations. I will be respectful. You be respectful. It'll work out all good in the end. And maybe somebody will learn something from both of us. Trump lost because of the electoral college and the popular vote was against him. Zachary, you're correct. The last election, and you can and look, I always say this because I know we're on social media. If I was just on Rumble, I would be making a lot more points about this, but you can believe whatever you want about the 2020 election, but at the end of the day, Donald Trump was not president of the United States, and yes, he lost the electoral college. He lost Pennsylvania, he lost Georgia, he lost Arizona, he lost Nevada, and guess what? He lost. Now look, I have strong feelings about the 2020 election, but hey, he lost. Trump's snowflakes tears will be flowing on election night. So, blind bees, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You can believe that. I don't put my faith and trust in Donald Trump though. Okay, I make this point a lot on the show. My faith and my trust is in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. If Donald Trump wins, the sun is gonna rise the next day, and Jesus Christ is gonna be Lord. Kamala Harris wins, the sun's gonna rise, and Jesus Christ is Lord. Yes, it's gonna be bad in this country. I believe if Kamala wins, you believe it's gonna be bad if Donald Trump wins. So we have a mutual understanding of that. But at the end of the day, if you know Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, He's coming back. He's coming back real soon. My hope is in Jesus. Whatever happens, it happens. So we're going to have to, like I said, we're going to have to see what happens. We had a question, and let's see. No, I did not see any comment from Donald Trump. So, if you could take a few clips, you could probably make Donald Trump say anything. And same thing, you got to listen to context. Look, as a Christian and as a Bible minister, I do the same thing. Okay, you have to look at all context, and see it. Google is free. Morgan, I know. And a lot of people, a lot of things that Google push are not right. And you said just go fact check yourself. Well, I read a lot of articles, and before I push something out, look, and this is all my opinion. Both stories are my opinion. But I pull it from well-known news source. Look, I'm going to say this, okay? The Kamala Harris interview, one of the first papers I pulled up was Politico. I read a little bit of Politico. So I'm not just sitting here and blindly, Fox News said this or the Daily Wire said this. I look up a lot of stuff. Let's see. No, Zachary, constitutional republic was not a term to undermine democracy. We are not a true democracy. We use, so let's say it like this. We use a Democrat form of voting, but we have a constitutional republic. Well, okay, good luck with my last name. How you know that? How you know I will not go check? Look, there was a lot of times people challenged me on stuff, and I went back and looked at it. We aren't a true democracy, but we vote, which is the definition of democracy. No, we use we use a democracy system of voting somewhat, but we were always considered with the founding fathers a constitutional republic. We are a representing democracy no matter how much you want. No, we are a constitutional republic. Again, I'm not going to deny the fact that we use some democratic ways of voting in some form of our system. But that's what makes America unique. We're not a true democracy, but we use forms of that because it is good. Then we're a republic where, hey, we're represented by our elected leaders. We are a constitutional republic. We are run by a constitution. Don't we have a constitution that was written in I want to say 1783? I might be wrong with that. Bro, told the truth. Thank you. That's why I tell the truth and I expose the lies. So, excuse me. So we are running up about 50 minutes on the live stream right here. Well, okay, so user 6838, I'm not going to say all the numbers. Quote the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll quote it right now. I pledge allegiance to the flags of the United States of America, on which the republic of which it stands. Why did they say that? Because we are a republic. We're not a democracy. So, let's see. Got some good conversations going on. All right. So, well, you know, I'm going to Miss Camp. I'm just going to say the last name. True Christians know that Trump isn't a Christian. Okay. On that point, I never said Donald Trump was a Christian. Any longtime listener of my show will tell you, I say it all the time. I don't think Donald Trump's a Christian. Morally, however, I think Donald Trump aligns more with my morals. Ms. Camp, thank you for the question. Please leave a heart if you like the answer. I don't think she's going to leave me a heart after this next. Name your news source. Well, I use Politico. I read CNN. I read Fox News. I read Daily Wire. I listen to Dan Bongino. I listen to Glenn Beck. So I mentioned left-leaning ones first because I know you were going to come out, your boy Nelson, and say, oh, see, he only reads conservative newspapers. No, I have Politico. I have CNN. I got the New York Times. I read other news sources. The reason I read other news sources is because I want to hear what the other side says. Thank you for the question. If you like it, hit the heart button. What's the difference between a constitutional republic and a democracy? So a constitutional republic is our constitution. We go ahead and we follow the rules of the constitution. A true democracy is based on 51-49 votes. Okay, if the majority rules, that's it. The majority the majority is law. If the majority says they want it, that's it. That's a true democracy. We're not a true democracy. Our Constitution lays out that we have to be represented by our representatives that we put into office. That is including the President of the United States, and they have to follow the rules of the Constitution. So that is what a constitutional republic is. We have a document called the Declaration, the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights, and our founding fathers our leaders cannot override that. That's why we got three branches of government. We got the presidency, we got the Senate and the House, and then we got the Supreme Court. All checks and balances, and our founding fathers did that on purpose. Ben said, I'm going to head out for game day. Oh, Look, Ben, look, I'm wearing your jersey today. You have a good day, my friend. Hope to see you next time. Yeah, I'm going to get off because I think college game day is about to start in a few minutes. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that. So, Q said, lost all credit saying CNN and Fox News. Well, like I said, I just don't look at just CNN and Fox News. Okay, now, Quinn, Q, I want to say this, though. Okay, you making that, but, you lost all credibility because you listened to those two. What about all the other ones I just said? I listened to all of them. Trump wanted to overthrow an election. Apple user 27. You know, we will talk about that later. All right. So one more story I want to say before I roll out for the last couple of minutes I have. Let's pray for Israel if you're an Israel supporter. Let's pray for the whole region of the Middle East. It is just a mess out there. Israel had to retaliate on a few things, and they had some plans attacks this week, and they're on high alert. They're on high alert right now, and let's pray for Israel. If you're a Christian, the Bible commands us to pray for the peace of Israel. I don't want to see no wars. I don't want to see people, unfortunately, lose their lives, and we need to go ahead and pray for these people. Let's pray for them. Let's pray for Israel. Let's pray for the Palestinians out there. I have strong feelings for Israel. I think Israel should defend themselves. I think Israel should be able to take out her enemies if possible. And, unfortunately, a lot of people will say, oh, it's genocide and this and this. No, Israel did not start this war. October 7th of last year was not the Palestinians, Hamas. And we need to go ahead and pray for them. And again, I wanted to talk more in depth with this, and it didn't really escalate right now, but Israel is on high alert. So keep Israel in your prayers. All right, everybody. So that is going to end today's show. I thought it was a good one. And tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody to check out the Isaac Hayes Show. I would love to have your support if you want to give it to me. If you disagree with me, please continue to join with me. I love debate, guys. And if you notice, if I'm interacting with somebody, I don't try to be disrespectful. I'm probably going to stay a little longer on TikTok. So if y'all want to stay, guys, while I'm uploading and everything, I will gladly have guests on TikTok now. That's when I normally do my guests. If you want to have a conversation with me, I would love to have you guys. All I ask is sort of be respectful. For Rumbo and everybody else, we're going to be leaving. And on the podcast side, go ahead and like and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends about it. And let's live in peace and harmony with one another. Until next time, you be blessed. You be encouraged. You have a good one.